Have you ever found yourself scratching an itch so persistent that it feels like a tiny army is marching on your skin? Or maybe you've asked yourself, why do we itch in the first place? Stay tuned, because I promise this video will be a fascinating dive into the itchy mystery. Think about it. Nearly every person on Earth has experienced an itch at some point. But what actually causes it? Why do we have this insatiable urge to scratch? And why does scratching feel so satisfying? Let's break this down into simple and engaging science-backed nuggets. Welcome to the world of itching and scratching, a journey guaranteed to blow your mind. First, let's address what an itch really is. Scientifically called pruritus, an itch is a sensation that triggers our desire to scratch. It's closely related but biologically distinct from pain. Here's something surprising. Until a few decades ago, scientists believed that itching was just a mild form of pain. But now we know that itchiness has its own specific neural pathways and mechanisms. It's not pain-light, it's a standalone biological mechanism. Isn't that mind-boggling? Alright, so how does this work inside our bodies? When your skin senses a potential irritant, like an insect crawling or something as innocuous as a piece of fabric, receptors in your skin detect this and send a signal to your spinal cord and brain. These signals then activate specific neurons that are specialized to deal with itching. These are aptly named proprioceptors. Yes, our bodies have dedicated paths just for causing and responding to itchiness. Cool, right? Now buckle up, because here's where it gets even more fascinating. When your brain detects that itchy signal, it essentially considers it a low-level emergency. Sort of like, hey, check this out, something might be crawling on me, or maybe I've been stung by an insect. That's why we instinctively scratch. This scratching creates a slight pain sensation that temporarily overrides the itchy signal. That's partly why scratching feels so good. It's kind of your body's quick fix remedy. Distract the itch-causing nerves by activating pain-causing nerves briefly. Strange, yet incredible. But wait, where do these itchy sensations originate? Believe it or not, there are three main reasons why humans itch. And no, it's not always about bug bites. The first cause? External stimuli, such as a mosquito bite, poison ivy, or dust particles irritating your skin. The second? Internal conditions like skin disorders, eczema, hives, or even an allergic reaction. And the third? Psychological or neurological reasons, which are absolutely peculiar. For instance, ever felt phantom itching, where nothing is actually there, but you still itch? Oh yes, your brain has the power to make you feel itchy even without any stimuli. That gets us into some really intriguing territory. While scratching might relieve that sensation temporarily, over-scratching can worsen the situation. Ouch! That's because persistent scratching damages the skin barrier, leading to inflammation and sometimes even infections. Fun fact, certain animals, including cats, dogs, and primates, also experience itching and scratching behavior. Yep, our furry friends experience this too. They have specialized mechanisms that allow them to prioritize itch responses in a survival capacity, often as a way to remove fleas or other parasites. Now imagine this. Scientists explored why scratching feels so satisfying, and their studies pointed to, drumroll, dopamine. Yes, the feel-good chemical in our brain plays its part. When we scratch that itch, our brain rewards us with a tiny dose of dopamine, which is the same chemical responsible for feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. However, the dopamine release also encourages our brains to keep seeking that pleasure, which is why we sometimes find scratching incredibly hard to stop. It's a curious and ironic loop, isn't it? But things get even weirder. Recent studies have uncovered that the itching mechanism may have served evolutionary purposes. Back in prehistoric times, itching may have been life-saving. It alerted our ancestors to insects carrying diseases, poisonous plants, or harmful parasites. This survival mechanism has stuck with us, even when harmful irritants aren't always present in our modern-day environments. Imagine how valuable that urge to scratch was in a jungle full of unknown threats. Let's pivot for a moment and discuss the psychological facet of itching. Have you ever noticed when someone talks about itching? Or worse, when you see someone scratch, it makes you feel itchy too? This is called contagious itching. Yes, it sounds odd, but it's a real phenomenon, likely tied to a neural mirroring effect in our brain. We empathize with others so profoundly that just seeing someone scratch can activate a similar reaction in our bodies. Kind of like contagious yawning. Humans are quirky creatures, aren't we? And here's a question for you. Have you ever felt itchy when stressed or anxious? Studies reveal that emotional distress can trigger itching in many people. It's as if the brain blends stress signals with physical sensations, creating an itchy side effect. This type of itchiness is commonly observed in conditions like anxiety disorders or even depression. Remarkably, this showcases the interconnectedness of the body and mind. Speaking of unique cases, there's another mind-blowing fact. Some conditions, like liver disease or kidney disease, can produce chronic itching with no external cause. This type of itching feels different from a bug bite or contact dermatitis. Scientists suspect it's partly due to the buildup of toxins or changes in bile acids circulating in the blood. This demonstrates yet another layer of complexity when discussing the biology of itching. Before we wrap this up, let's dive into some futuristic science. Did you know that researchers are working on medications to block itch-specific neural pathways? Drugs tailored to target itching could soon transform the way we treat skin conditions, chronic itching disorders, and even psychological triggers. Imagine a world where the days of pesky scratches are behind us. Could there be a better future for fans of uninterrupted focus? So here's a quick recap of everything we've covered today. Itching isn't just a random sensation, it's a sophisticated biological and neurological response. It can be a reflex for self-preservation, a mechanism overlaying pain, a psychological phenomenon, and even a social cue. Scratching, meanwhile, acts as both a remedy and an irritation, a fascinating paradox of biology. From dopamine rewards to ancient genetic instincts, itching tells us so much about human behavior and evolution. The next time you feel that insatiable itch, consider this. Your body may just be trying to save you or get you dopamine, depending on the situation. Either way, scratching that itch may be satisfying, but try not to go overboard. And don't forget, itching is universal. So there's a bizarre comfort in knowing that every single human, as well as a lot of animals, have had to deal with this quirky biological sensation. Thank you for joining this fascinating deep dive into the world of itch and scratch science. If you've ever found this topic endlessly intriguing, or you've learned something new, hit that like button, subscribe for more exciting episodes of Why Facts, and share this video with a friend you plan to talk about itching with. Until next time, stay curious, and maybe keep the anti-itch cream handy.